going on, guys? Ian Fernando here, and you've seen us on the screen with Manu, because I want to get his idea on what he's just been talking about on his new project, his What the App newsletter. So today is going to be a great interview, or not interview, more of like a conversation on why he shifted his focus from being an affiliate to this awesome newsletter, which I compare it to almost like the Hustle newsletter, if anybody's familiar with it. So, Manu, I want you to go ahead and introduce everybody and tell them about your affiliate career first before we get to our main topic.
Sure. So thanks for having me, Ian, and hello, everyone. To kind of give an intro about my affiliate career, I started around 3.5 years ago. I remember it was exactly May 2015, so it was pretty specific. One another project that we had here in Vienna I worked on was a software development company. But then the CTO and the team we didn't get along anymore, so team broke up. Then looking for other things to do. Pretty standard thing, right? Like team doesn't work out is one of the main reasons startups fail. So but looked into other things that I could do, what could make sense to test quickly and use the existing skills that we have. And then affiliate marketing came to mind just because of what other friends also said. Like I knew a few people that already started it. Yeah, it worked pretty well. Started with mobile display back in the day, and even worked to do mobile display white hat back then with apps, which was quite strange for people. Then moved into doing more pops, expanding to doing more than apps. Worked pretty nicely. Then as most people during 2017 or so, looked also into doing some Facebook, e-com, stuff like that, which all led to 2018 and to starting What the App. But I guess we can go into more details of why that happened later on. I guess another interesting thing or like highlight was that during 2017, I was the head of business operations for the STM forum. So I learned a lot about offering any sort of service for the affiliate community. So that helped a little bit as well for what I'm doing now.
That's pretty cool. So basically you started with pop traffic, basically mobile pop, right? Nothing like the desktop PPV pops, right?
No, so I started with display first, mobile display, and then mobile pops. I mean, we ran some mobile desktop, some desktop pops just like in the mix. If you targeted broadly, like if obviously not for apps, but for sweepstakes and offers like that, it worked somehow. Like it was okay, but the biggest chunk was mobile for sure.
That's awesome. That's crazy. Within 3 years, you were pretty much successful in your first campaign. Within what, a month or so?
Around a month. But one thing that I always try to mention here is that, like a lot of people ask, like how many weeks, how many months to get successful, or like to have a profitable campaign, because success is different for each. But the main thing there was that I worked like at least 12 hours a day, probably more sometimes, including weekends. So it's like my 1 month was probably some other people's. Like if you do it part-time, just imagine like I do 6 times more hours that you do a day if you do it like 2 hours a day aside from your work.
Yep.
And you have to also catch the right timing. You have to get a little bit lucky with that. So if you're not there all the time, to catch that sort of a small lucky break and work hard on benefiting from that break, then you don't really make it. So it's like I'm one of those affiliates that say if you really, really want to be successful, it's probably better to have like 1 month full on just like all in with it and then get back to work then instead of doing it 2 hours a day. I think it can work, but I think it's less likely to work.
Oh, no, I totally agree with you with that because like when I had a job, I was probably working 5 hours right after that, right? And then I told myself, okay, if I'm able to do this 5 hours back after my own job, and I do 12 to 16 hours, 2/3 of my day dedicated to affiliate marketing, then I can do this. And then within a month's time or a month and a half time, I was able to let go of the third job or the last job that I had at that time and became full time. But it took me 2 years to be full time while having 3 jobs. And then when I had that one job, I was able to use that time and to upgrade myself after. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It depends on each person's situation. Not saying that everyone should like quit their jobs or anything. It's just keep in mind that more per day will matter. Like it helps a lot.
Correct. So now let's get into what the app. Since you were an affiliate, I don't know, are you still an affiliate? Or still
Oh,
running
well,
campaign?
technically not anymore. So
Oh,
that's the
okay.
funny thing.
Okay, so it is okay. Perfect conversation then. So what is what the app? Okay, I compare it to almost the hustle. I think I mentioned this
Mhm.
to you when you first
Yeah,
joined.
yeah, yeah.
So I guess break it down for us.
Sure. I mean, in short, it's a daily newsletter, Monday to Friday, workday newsletter, targeted for people that are in affiliate marketing and probably some related industries as well. A little bit broader digital marketing for doing e-commerce, media buying in general. Some useful information for you as well. That is should be around 5 minutes read. So like a jam-packed, quick read with all this sort of information about news about affiliate marketing, technology, and affiliate marketing, some related technology, some actionable advice there as well. So the goal with it is just to have an entertaining and a short read instead of browsing and procrastinating around Facebook groups and
Yeah.
other news websites. Just get it in your inbox every day with the latest and greatest of the industry.
So how I mean, before even this came out, it was like AFBuzz was a very popular aggregator.
Mhm.
AFPost by Luke from Peerfly. Like, how do you filter out and curate and edit these content to go into your newsletter daily? I mean, I'm assuming that you're curating every hour of the day, or are you saving like posts for something to schedule from that you saw on Monday and might be scheduled for Friday?
So it's actually pretty straightforward. What we do is we just have a reasonably long list of websites and groups that we track, and then we just go 30 minutes to 60 minutes every day. I think the key thing is that since I'm someone who was pretty deep in the industry, like I still think I'm pretty deep in the industry, although I don't run campaigns, I kind of get what's important and what people want to hear about, right? So
Yeah,
that's like, it's not a secret trick or anything. It's just more like the experience comes that you know what people care about, and then you feature
yeah,
that, which is yeah, that's the whole thing. Like if you're I feel like I'm part. Like I created something that I would want to read if I wouldn't be doing it.
that's awesome. I
So
mean, that's where it kind of starts out.
like what I would want to read.
So, I guess, do you think the newsletter is more like an SDM community membership, or are you getting like a lot of newbies that are more like digital marketers or trying to get into the digital space? Because I see SDM as its own category of affiliate marketers than maybe
Mhm.
a ClickBank person or I don't know a share sale CJ type of affiliate.
Mhm. No, we got a pretty wide range overall. So there's definitely a few people that are newer. So we're running a survey, like anonymous survey all the time, which is
That's good.
just to get an idea of what sort of people join our newsletter so we know how to curate the content better for them. But mostly it's over half of them, I would say they're like professionals in the industry who make a full-time living out of it.
That's
Then,
awesome.
of course, the other half a little bit different, but not like the very newbie section is pretty small. I think like 10 to 15% people that are really, really new in it. And it kind of makes sense because we really focus on curating news and content that is like actionable by professionals in that sense.
Hmm.
So it's not like for better or worse, there will almost never be like a step-by-step guide how to get into affiliate marketing there. It's
It's just
just
more
like,
of like an overall information of what is happening currently.
yeah,
As
exactly.
industry changes, as you know, so often.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so, since you're not doing, I guess, affiliate campaigns, I see ads in your email,
Mhm,
which is fine. I mean, they're very small; they're not really obstructive.
mhm.
I'm assuming that's a source of income, or are you doing something else on the side to help
So
curate?
that's the main source of income when it comes to like what I'm doing now. It's just purely so it's based on other newsletters that monetize the same way.
Yeah.
The hustle does it the same. So the whole idea is that if we're a good source of information that we're liked by our readers, then it's probably a good idea to instead of monetizing in any sort of other way. It seems like a pretty straightforward way to monetize through advertising
Hmm.
and doing it in a way that in a lot of cases in affiliate marketing doesn't happen, which is non-intrusive, non-spammy. So the way we put it is usually that we want to create an all-inclusive advertising service for any sort of a sponsor that joins the newsletter. and we create also the content for them. So there's one spot exclusively for each, and we write the copy for them. Or, well, of course, it's their input as well, but we don't let anything just go in and
Of course.
hit you in the face super strongly.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about the customer experience, right? If somebody
Exactly.
mad with like, oh man, it's gonna be crap, just hit unsubscribe.
Yeah.
One thing I want to also chat is like the poolside chat part of your newsletter. So what made you come up with this poolside chat? It's like open forums, dialogue, conversation, post in that newsletter.
Ooh, two things. First, actually, it was the worry that we might not have enough news and content all the time, actually.
Really? There's so much news out there.
If you do it every day, like 5 times a week, it's quite a bit. Like, you're worried that maybe you don't have enough of a real news sort of content put in the newsletter. So that was one thing. But the other thing is to kind of give it a little bit of a better mix. Because if you think about it, there's any sort of industry, no matter how deep and niche it is, the people will still have related industries that they care about. For affiliate marketing, we've noticed that technology in general is one, cryptocurrency is definitely a big one, and then it kind of depends, but there's definitely, especially if you think about most of the people who are in affiliate marketing right now, who are at their peak, probably gaming is important. Like, they started playing video games when they were kids and they still play. Like, they're not very old or very young. Well, if they're very young, they still play games anyway. So those sort of topics are included. And yeah, it's mostly to add a little bit of a funny mix and variety, but also make sure that we do have enough content. And it's also like I thought of a name. I tried to think of a name that is not off topic, because if you say off topic something, people think it's relevant. I don't like that. It's still relevant, I think, and I hope. And I was thinking, okay, so what do affiliates like a lot? So most affiliates like traveling. They like posting pictures from the beach and their infinity pools. So it's like poolside chat. When, like, the idea is to have the same conversations that, let's say you and I, if we're going to meet in Bangkok or wherever, when we're sipping some cocktails, that's what we would talk about. Because we would probably not talk about affiliate marketing too much. Like, we know a lot about it. We want to have other things to discuss. So.
And that's what I like going to these conferences. I mean, are you going to AWA, I'm assuming? Yeah,
so we're actually the Wi-Fi sponsor for the conference with WhatsApp.
Yep,
I can support passport later.
Awesome. Yeah. So just like you said, I mean, this is the reason why these conferences are so important, because you just go there to meet, put the face, and then after you talk about a minute or two of business of like, hey, Manu, everything's doing well, your campaigns, and then you just talk about business and regular life, So
yeah, that's what I wanted to add, the same feel there. That it's like, look, it's serious overall, and you get good information, but I don't know, things that you might care about are also there that are not affiliate marketing. You don't get like overload of marketing news in any way.
Correct. So I guess in Bangkok, you're having this special dinner. So what's this special dinner going to be about?
Well, so what I wanted to put together is like a giveaway for people who are reading What the App. And I thought, like, okay, so what is the typical thing that happens when you do giveaways? So you have your standard, conference tickets. You have maybe discounts or free use of some software. And sometimes you have you can attend a mastermind out of, 20 people you can join as well. So I thought, okay, let's try to do something really special and go the other way around. When, of course, like offering a ticket or discounts with our partners that we did already, but also something from us, from What the App, that's different and the opposite of those typical masterminds where, 20 people go to talk to one person who is like the thought leader or the teacher, let's call it. Let's do it the other way around, where someone who is somewhat newer in the industry, or not necessarily new, because then we couldn't choose, someone who's in the industry but not an expert perhaps, or not very famous, he could meet with, I try to make 5 people join. So 5 people who have a reasonably diverse skill set, who are known, and also who can help each other as well if necessary. So I try to put together something that really focuses on the winner, and not where the winner is just like a pawn that, part of the whole group in masterminds. I mean, I've been to masterminds. I think they have value, But the whole idea with WhatsApp is to do things a little bit the opposite way around. When you see in affiliate marketing that, like I said at the beginning, there's a lot of spam, there's a lot of trust issues. Try to go the other way around and offering as much as we can for as little as possible, in this case for free. So that's why we have Andrew Payne. He's very good with push traffic and pop traffic.
I was actually just talking to him about some push traffic the other day too. So
yeah, so he's really, really good at it. I'm surprised. Like, he's one of the few people who didn't move out of pops, but just try to figure things out. And I think he was one of the early people who got into push traffic. So he's been doing pretty well there. Then Paul J. Appel. He's really good with Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah. Then Deepesh. He's very good with Facebook as well. Deepesh Mandalia, but he's very good with e-commerce Facebook. And Paul is more like CPA Facebook. Then Van Oaks. He's good with influencer marketing and stuff like that. He's the guy with the nice mustache.
Okay. Yeah.
Then last but not least is Kelly Sheffield. He's a moderator on the STM forum as well, and he's really good with native ads. So I try to like make a group that, depending on whoever wins, whatever they're doing, there's going to be something for them.
Yeah, it's a very diverse group. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I guess since you're not in affiliate marketing, you have this newsletter for people to stay on top of news. I guess one argument I can say is, so are you doing any lead gen for WhatsApp currently, or are you buying your own traffic for WhatsApp to grow the list, or using your marketing skill set to grow WhatsApp more so?
Well, so actually I can talk on a few things here. The funny thing is, before starting WhatsApp, what I wanted to do is create a known product, like a white hat owned product that is sustainable, where I can use the skills that I've learned in affiliate marketing for that product. So whether that's info products or e-commerce, things like that. Tried a lot of things, both related to like crypto, real estate, e-commerce, all sorts of things, just like small tests here and there. Crypto seemed the most promising one, but then Google didn't want to do crypto anymore. So I was like, okay, let's think this through. And I ran into another newsletter that is similar to what we're doing now and similar to the hustle. And that's kind of what pushed me to the idea, like, let's try to do something like this in affiliate marketing. And the irony is that I did use some of the affiliate marketing skills that I learned over the years, but those skills were not actually media buying. So the skills that I learned were just like things to do with keeping track of performance, of course, but then also understanding the industry. So we did try to do a little bit of media buying, but as you can imagine, it's a free newsletter where you don't have a lead magnet, because if you add a lead magnet, then it gets complicated with the engagement rates, with open rates and click-through rates and things like that, because people sign up for the lead magnet. It works for a lot of models, but in our case, it didn't seem to be like the best one. What worked pretty well and what was new that I had to learn was kind of trying to do some influencer marketing. So working with other people who are in the industry, who have an audience, like, hey, do you like what we're doing? And they were like, most people were, yes, it's quite interesting. So would you mind recommending it to your audience, like to your email list, or following either for free if you want to, or name a price and see if that works out for us.
That's awesome. A lot of things are moving to more of the influencing style of traffic.
Yeah, it seems like
I never got into it. Just because I don't know how to properly measure the influence to profitability. Maybe that's a bad way to look at things, but I mean, being affiliate marketers, and we're just more numbers driven. So I mean, that's just one scary part. So okay, so we're getting towards the end of the interview. What do you have for people that are starting into affiliate marketing? So you've been in it for 3 years. How do you want to tell somebody about this information of affiliate marketing and how to really, really start?
Ooh, how to really, really start? Well, one thing that I've noticed these days that there's not like a super straightforward way to start, like just go this path. When I started, it was clear that you have to go mobile display maybe, but pops would have been the best way to go.
Yeah.
And now it seems more difficult. I think push traffic is a good way to start off, because it's very similar to pops in some way. Like, it's also cheap traffic that you can buy a lot of traffic for cheap. So then for a smaller budget, when you're starting out, you can get a lot, and then you can get familiar with the whole flow, which is like traffic source, your tracker, and your stats, then the affiliate network. So you can go get familiar with all this funnel that you have in affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
So I would say push traffic would be a good one. But in general, you should really think deeply about learning media buying, just whether it's on Facebook or e-commerce. The way I would go about it now is probably think what sort of traffic source I want to be good at, and then figure out the vertical to run on that traffic source. So like traffic source first, find good information about that, and then test different verticals, different offers on that source.
Awesome. Cool. So everyone, thanks for watching and staying on this interview with Manu to talk about What the F. You can find his newsletter at whattheaf.co. And
WTF.co.
Yeah, WTF. There you go. Real quick, what made you come up with that name?
Well, okay. The idea initially was that What the App, or like this newsletter, was supposed to be like your daily stack of newspapers that you get in, you've got, or like at least people in the US got like tens of years ago, probably. I've seen it only in movies. Like you just order your newspapers and they were a stack.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So like your daily stack of newspapers, but delivered to your email. But then calling it anything that has to do with stack, I thought that it would get confusing because I'm a moderator on the STM forum, Stack.money, iStack Holdings. I didn't want people to think that this is associated with them. Like I don't want to piggyback on that.
Got it.
And then the other thing was, okay, so what sort of tone do we want to have in this newsletter? What is our value? Like, yes, we provide news, but we also try to add some entertainment in there. And that should make people kind of react like the WTF. And since it's affiliate marketing, what the F instead of what the F.
Nice.
That's kind of the story.
Nice. Awesome. Okay.
And then I learned that what the F is also something very common because AFF is also stands for accelerated free fall, which has to do with skydiving. Oh. And when I Googled it, I was like, okay, the domain is taken, the .com is taken.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Well, everyone, if you want to read, he even has all these old articles on his website, WTF.co. So if you want to preview all his past newsletters, you can go on the website before even subscribing. Pretty easy. That's kind of how I started, just going through, and I saw like, oh man, it's a lot of good information on here. I don't mind having it on my inbox all the time. So Manu, thank you again for having this interview with me. And
thanks for having me as well.
Yeah, no problem. And then any last words?
No, just
subscribe.
Looking forward to seeing you. Well, subscribe, of course. Check us out. If you like us, then great. Like I would be very happy if you don't unsubscribe. Like we only ask for your name. We don't even have the Facebook pixel put on. Like we don't want to stalk you over the internet and stuff. So, like,
awesome.
No worries if you unsubscribe. Then hope to see a few of.
I'll be there. I should be there. So we'll see.
In Bangkok.
Yeah. I'll be there. Should be the first week of December. I think I'll probably be there the second or the first. I'll try to be there anyway. So, cool. Awesome, Manu. Thank you for having me. Or thank you for the conversation anyway.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Cheers.